Football is back, everybody. Yes, at least that's how I felt going into the Bears and Packers game. And then I was watching, and I kind of felt like this. Oh, is it halftime yet? Oh no, it's just another commercial. Well, this is more interesting. That's honestly how I felt during the game. Look, it was super hard to watch. It was so boring, but there are some things that I was able to take away from that game because both of these teams are in our division, and there's a few thoughts that I have that maybe will affect the Detroit Lions. So, without me talking anymore, let's get right into the video. So I think we learned a little bit from that really boring game that was 10-3. Let me repeat that, 10-3. That was the opening game for the NFL. I don't think that's the best look to have a 10-3 game. I mean, it was enjoyable in its own way because it's not like I don't enjoy necessarily that game where it was like 50-50. I was like, this is terrible. Okay, no one's got any defense. I like to see defense, especially if there's Lions, right? If that was Lions winning, I would have been okay with it. But 10-3 was just kind of boring, especially when you don't like either of the teams. So I took away a few points from this games, and I think there's a lot of things that we have to really talk about. I'm going to try to fit them into this video, okay? The first thing I have is that the Bears, their offense looks pretty horrendous. The Bears don't look like they have much of an offense, and we knew the Bears weren't a great offense, and I didn't understand sometimes when the commentators were saying, well, where's the Bears offense at? Well, this is kind of what the Bears offense is. They're not a great offense. Mitchell Trubisky's not going to dot you up because he's Mitchell Trubisky. You can't expect that. Now, I will give some credit to the Packers. I thought they played really good defense, but one thing that I did notice, Mitchell Trubisky, either it was because, he didn't play in the preseason, so, he had no warm-ups, and it was just week one, he was thrown out there, and he was just inconsistent, or their offense just didn't look good, and they could not handle the Packers. Whatever it may be, I thought he made a lot of bad decisions. Obviously, that touchdown throw was a bad decision. And I'm not even going to go too in on that one, because I didn't think it was I knew it was a bad decision, but at the game speed, it didn't look too bad. I could see why he was looking there down 7, desperate. You're trying to get the fans hype. I mean, they were literally booing because you could not score. This team literally scored because basically gave you the ball there. After the punt, you had the ball basically in field goal range already. You literally did nothing on offense. The Bears offense looks awful. And for the Lions, that is a good thing, right? That can't be a bad thing. Now, last year, the Bears were the best team in the NFC North. As we know, they won the NFC North and they lost the first round of the playoffs. They probably should have won if it wasn't for a missed field goal and their kicker situation being a problem. But maybe they had that kicker situation figured out with the field goal was their only points of the game. So maybe that's the way to do it, man. You can't score touchdowns, but our only points of the game will come from a kicker. How crazy, how ironic is that the only Bears points come from a kicker? I mean, just let that sink in. After last season, the only points of the opening game come from the kicker. Like, that's crazy to me. So the first thing is that the Lions, defensively, they should be able to feast on the Bears. I don't think the Bears have enough outside explosion necessarily to take our cornerbacks or anything like that, or just beat us downfield. Mitch Trubisky can move a little bit, and that's something that I like about his game. This defensive line should just harass the Bears offense. They should be fine. I mean, I understand it's week one, so I'm not going to go too into detail like I said, because if I 100% believe this is how the season will go for these teams, just based off the first game, I would be 100% wrong. What we do understand is we didn't see really any bright spots from that offense. Now, the second thing is that Aaron Rodgers and Mitchell Trubisky, they didn't play in the preseason, and I thought it was kind of obvious. Now, I think they tried to make it sound like Aaron Rodgers did better than he did all the time. The announcers, Aaron Rodgers took over the game. Bro, Aaron Rodgers didn't take over no game. They had 10 points, dog. He didn't take over any kind of game. Taking over a game is more than scoring 10 points, okay? That was the Bears not even playing in the game, okay? That was just awful. You guys barely scored, barely in the first half. I mean, you got to think their only touchdown literally came from a bomb and then a weird Jimmy Graham touchdown where it was like he just threw it and the defender didn't move. That was the weirdest thing ever. Look, the Packers offense didn't look great either. Again, neither of these quarterbacks played in the preseason, so does that have an effect on anything? I would think it would have less of an effect on Aaron Rodgers, but again, he didn't look great. But is that Aaron Rodgers or is that the offense? And we know they don't have a lot of weapons on the outside. I've talked about this. I don't know why they didn't draft a wide receiver. They didn't. They don't have tons of weapons on the outside. Graham is nice and he got the touchdown. We knew that about Graham. But their weapons on the outside aren't very great, so we're just going to have to wait and see. But at least from what I saw from week one, I'm not really worried about their weapons. Now, on both sides of the ball, once again, it just didn't score well. Neither of these offenses surprised me. Now, do you want to put that on the defenses and saying they played great, or do you want to say the offense played bad? I think it's a little bit of both here. I think the offenses played terrible on each side pretty much the whole time. If it wasn't for that weird 1-minute drive again by the Packers, that game would have been 3-3. Literally, we are grateful for that because that would have been the most boring game ever, okay? But is that because of the defense? I think a little bit, but I also think a little bit not, right? A little bit, the defense is making its plays. Look, the Bears harassed Aaron Rodgers for most of that game. And I can't blame the Bears defense say, hey, you guys are the reason they lost. You gave up that touchdown. The Bears offense has to literally do something. I mean, you can't do nothing the entire game. The Bears defense, I thought, played really well. They gave Aaron Rodgers a lot of pressure, and they just really made it hard for him to focus, hard for him to get really any passes off early in the game. He was having to throw quick stuff. They were getting sacked over and over and over, and that's something that the Lions have that is going to be great versus the Packers. We have that defense line. I think our defense line is better than the Bears. We could go crazy on them, but the thing that we have is we have the other side of the ball, in my opinion, as well. We have Stafford, who's way above Trubisky, okay? We have running backs who are better than theirs. David Montgomery does not want Kerryon Johnson and Ty Johnson, CJ Anderson. We have weapons on the outside that are better than the Bears. Our tight ends are probably better than the Bears, okay? I understand they're a little unproven, but probably. Overall, we look better offensively. Now, the only question is that offensive line. So when the Lions play the Bears, they're definitely going to have to be careful against that defensive line, okay, and all the blitzes. They're going to have to get stuff out quickly like the Packers did, but we need to take advantage of that. We have big tight ends. You got to get that out of your hand. Stafford, quick doom, boom. This is what Darrell Bevell does. And actually, one way to stop the blitz is to run it. Yes, I know it sounds crazy because you would think if you're blitzing, that's going to get rid of the run. No, actually, it can. But at the same time, it also means if you get past that first layer, you are gone, baby. You're gone if you blitz the linebackers. So that's what the Lions can take advantage of. Now, like I said, both quarterbacks struggled. A lot of that reason for them struggling was basically because of all the pressure. Aaron Rodgers was sacked 4 times on 3rd and short. 4 times on 3rd and short. It was bad. Both offensive lines didn't go great, or maybe it was the defense line. You guys have to let me know in the comments below what you guys think it was. But either way, neither offense looked very good. Now, the defensive side of things, I think they look solid. Packers secondary looked pretty good to me, I think. Alexander looked solid. Also, Adrian Amos kind of did what we expected. He's a great safety, one of the highest paid safety, so we should expect that out of him. And the Bears secondary played pretty well, but I think it was mostly that front 7 getting pressure and kind of just disrupting everything. So for me overall, I think what I learned from it is that we should be fine. These are going to be close games. We shouldn't get blown out by either of these teams because they don't put enough points up to do that, as long as we just play within our game. But at the same time, we could definitely beat this team if we can run. If we can just go against that rush. Because teams are going to pressure us. They're going to blitz us because they know about our offensive line. If we can hold up, get stuff out quickly, Stafford, get it to your running backs, make them make a play. Get it to your wide receivers, have them go make a play. Run the ball, get to the second level. You break one deep run for a touchdown off of a blitz. The defense is going to rethink what they're doing. That's just how that works. So for the Lions, I think there was a lot of good for us as fans. Maybe some stuff that we could be worried about, but overall, I'm pretty happy. I'm not mad about anything that I saw, and if anything, I'm kind of more confident going into the season. Let me hear your thoughts, comments below. I know it's a long video, kind of just rambled here. I just want to give all my takes out. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'm out.